I'm going to ask both of you, is the internet, especially social media, changing everything in China? Will there be a social media-based revolution or democratization process?
Now, in China, we have about 300 million microbloggers. It's almost an entire generation of the entire population of the United States. So they create a platform as a public sphere. People now start to debate the political issues. And also, very important thing is there is, of course, self-censorship and censorship very strong in the Weibo. Basically, you can't criticize the central government. But because the server is based in Beijing, it's also the first time in the history Chinese local officials can't delete the criticism to them. It's create the freedom for Chinese citizens to attack and disclose the scandal of local government. So if you go to the Chinese Weibo, every week you can see the scandals of the corrupted officials was disclosed and sacked. This is not maybe is a vehicle to democracy, but at least it's a platform of training for the citizenship. If every day the training of the citizenship and the freedom of speech, eventually it will liberalize the mindset, the whole generation. It create the future citizen for the democratic China.
Well, I always believe that social media or internet is a reflection of the overall society. So it's not something that's kind of coming out of nowhere. Before Weibo, before social media, there was already BBS. There was a lot of good search engines out there that make information available. So I think we had to look at this in the context of the Chinese society for the past 2 decades becoming more open, more transparent, thanks to a lot of factors, not just because of the internet alone, but a lot of factors external to China, internal to China. So I'm optimistic that social media is a step going forward of making the society more open, more tolerant, and eventually becoming more participative.
When you blog, when you tweet, do you know where the line is? Because your post can be deleted, and you can be summoned in for tea, talks, or you can be locked up.
I think they're different because in China, we have the microblog with Weibo, but at the same time, a lot of people like me want to use VPN to access Twitter, real Twitter, not copycat of Twitter. So we call the VPN word is like the internet concession of China. It's like a concession. You can taste the freedom by use VPN, but this VPN costs money. I call it internet tax. So to put it simple, when I do the post, writing the post in the Weibo, I know the censorship is very serious. So basically, I don't want to waste the time. But sometimes I also tweet, for example, the Nanfang Zhoumo, the stories. So I retweet a lot and was frozen for a week. My account was frozen for a week. But on the Twitter side, because it's a free concession, I think the boundary of that freedom of speech on the Twitter is just whether you can put yourself in the jail. If you think what you tweet will not put into jail, you just try your best to be more free. Sometimes in China, there is no freedom of speech, but you should act and practice the freedom of speech as if it exists. Because if you do that, you can create a free mind. Because censorship biggest, in fact, is in your mind, self-censorship. Even a Chinese student go overseas, study for several years, they still have the boundary when they talk about Chinese politics. So, but Twitter, the VPN, the internet freedom concession of China, create a first chance for Chinese that practice the freedom of speech as if it existed.
Gary, I found it very interesting that you said that your kind of gut feeling is that you can't put this back in the bottle, that internet freedom, you're optimistic that it's unstoppable, and evolving slowly, presumably. But that just seems to be in contradiction to the fact that the party can't allow it to be unstoppable, it would seem, and that censorship, current censorship, is a reflection of that core rule for the party that they can't allow it to be unstoppable. So I thought I would just ask you maybe to elaborate your thinking a bit.
Sure. What I said is that the internet is always just a reflection of the society, and the Chinese society is becoming more open, and it's the whole process of the whole society getting down that path, I think, is unstoppable.